So how do you feel about TikTok going and coming back? Murray!
Yeah. He won't move. He's like,
Whoa!
I stay? Can I stay?
Come on!
Look, get this lummox. Not my best place.
Your butt's gonna be on the camera.
I know, that's what I was trying to avoid. We are here.
Like dealer auctions.
Oh, hi, yeah.
Sounds
Dealer
like
auctions?
There may be some offers.
Guys, we might have
We're
some offers.
selling foot pictures. Murphy's foot pictures.
Beans.
So there's a freebie.
Um,
Bonely fans, it's called.
Bonely fans. We decided to do vlogs. Why did we decide to do vlogs, Dad?
I thought this would be a good way for people to get something else, for us to also show more of ourselves to others, but also to let you know that we're here. A lot of the times we are on TikTok, and that is where a lot of people know me from, is TikTok.
Yeah.
And I thought what would be good is to show you that it's not just TikTok, especially because of what recently happened. It's good to, I think, what would you say, branch out a bit?
Branch out a bit, pay more attention to YouTube and other platforms. That's what we're kind of talk about today, and not all vlogs will be in this format.
No. This is just
today.
This is just
the first tester.
A howdy.
Teaser, if you will. I don't know. I feel like the first year or two.
We should have thought this out.
No, but the first year or two of the Antlered Crown was like it was you and me all the time, live, working together.
Our dynamic
and hanging out. And now I really stepped back a lot, which is a good thing because I needed to.
Yes.
But
it gets overwhelming.
It does get overwhelming. But we were so focused on just business expansion that I think we lost a lot of the love that we had for creating it together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you have to be so awkward?
I'm awkward because you decided you're going to be awkward also.
I'm not being awkward at all.
All right. Then neither of us are awkward.
I think my ideas were for this kind of platform, this vlog, were like going out places and adventures with him.
Yeah, and we might do some reviews.
Things. If you guys want to send us books or TikToks or tarot cards you want reviewed.
Yes, we can do the reviews of those. I'd love to do some tarot card reviews because I have quite a few tarot cards to start off with, so I think we could do some reviews of those and why I like them and why I don't like them as well. Yeah. Because I think for me, when I used my tarot cards, it depends upon if the person asks a specific question. It depends upon the person. And it also depends upon my energy that day.
Right.
This is a kind of just introductory thing.
Yeah, I think it would also be nice to, like, this is how we'll share news with you. You know? Like things that are happening in our lives, like with the book and with us hanging out. Like we recently got a car. That was exciting.
Recently got a car.
We're like grown-ups now.
I know, it is a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Sometimes you just look back and you're like, oh yeah, so that's happened. Yeah. I never realised it's kind of like my Roman Empire.
Yeah, it is.
I think about my credit score a lot more than I ever would have before. I mean, before I didn't even know I had one. Turns out everyone's got a credit score. Who'd have thunk it?
But I wanted this episode just to be not only introductory, but also to kind of talk about TikTok and our feelings around TikTok. So how do you feel about TikTok going and coming back?
Truthfully, I thought it was a fucking outrage.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fucking outrage. I thought it was an outrage for the first reason. Every single one of them, most of them, stockholders in Meta, who then decide, because apparently the needs of the few have outweighed the needs of the many.
Yeah.
And so that was an audacity itself, an infringement upon free speech.
Right.
But also, like people like us, and so many other people.
I think it was like 200 million business owners that use TikTok or something.
Their livelihood depends on it. And we're not talking about a livelihood where it's like, massive enterprise.
No.
These are small home companies.
Just to be clear, too,
things.
like, I think people have the wrong perception of TikTok. Like, the only people that make big money are like the big influencer who have like 4 million followers, and each of their views are like over 250,000.
I don't really follow many people like that.
I think you only get like maybe $8 to $15 a month from TikTok.
From TikTok.
It's the word of mouth.
It's the word of mouth, letting people know, hey, I'm here if you want what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what it is for a lot of other people. It's a form of advertisement as well as a fantastic community.
Oh God.
Where you can get support.
5 years ago. It was so good.
Yeah.
Witchcraft that right now is weird.
Is the hair in the tea?
It went in the
Is the tea on the hair?
The tea's on the hair.
Okay, that's better than the other way around, I suppose. Then there's all this talk of going over to Red Note. And I went to Red Note.
Yeah.
Immediately, my tism started acting up.
Yeah.
I don't like change. I don't understand what this means. Genuinely found it quite refreshing because everyone was so nice.
Yeah.
But it was a bit late for me in the way of starting, and yet
I think neither of us though thought that it was going to happen.
I thought it would happen, but I didn't think it would go dark. Like I thought it would just fizzle out.
Yeah.
It will just be like, eventually it'll be outdated.
But also we both thought we were safe because we had updated everything to be in Ireland. Like.
Yeah. And here's the deal: if you start an account in another country, it's based to that account, wherever you start it from. When we got in touch with them, TikTok.
Yeah, the support team
and
at TikTok.
They were very responsive, although it was obviously a automated message.
Yeah.
Just with someone else's name on the bottom every time.
Yeah.
It became very clear that they're not going to do anything about it. No. And I was like, why? Why aren't you going to do anything about it? Because you seemed really into wanting to help. And
feels a bit fishy.
Then we figured out why. Yeah. Because it was coming back.
It was coming back. Feels very publicity stunty.
There is a lot of conspiracy theory. And I don't want to fall into the conspiracy theory.
We're not going to be here telling you what to believe. I think that's
I'm not going to be telling you what I believe.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
TikTok is back. Which is a good thing. It's a good thing for a lot of people. It is,
but at the same time, I want to make TikTok and YouTube what Witch Talk was 5 years ago. Like, I feel like the younger generations aren't engaged as much as they were 5 years ago.
I think they are.
Do you think so?
Yeah, but you see, what we've got at the moment is we've got, over the last few years, there's been this opening up and returning to other forms of witchcraft. It's almost like we had Wicca, right? And then what people have, Wicca kind of, they followed this vein of Wicca in their life. And then all of a sudden, the folk practice of witchcraft has come about.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to reverse engineer Wicca.
Yeah.
To go back to something that what actually originated from Wicca. And be like, oh, there's something older than Wicca. There's something that it's based upon, and I want to investigate that.
But then it gets very pagan.
But it doesn't, because the Wicca is pagan because it has the worship of a god and a goddess figure, right? Which, in some ways, was the same of a lot of the folk practices that inspired it. But the difference there was these gods weren't the goddess and the god. They were different things, as we know, as in like the old one, the witch father, the witch's devil, or the queen of Elfheim, or the winter lady, or whatever you want to call them. And yet, from all different practices up and down just Britain alone.
Yeah.
And these were practiced by people who were Christian. These people went to church or they went to mass, and yet, so I think Wicca has been paganized. Wicca is a paganized form of witchcraft, whereas before that, witchcraft, although the practices were considered pagan by the observer, they weren't pagan by the practitioner. The practitioner would still identify themselves as Christian or whatever, because how many people have said to me, my mother or my grandmother or my great-grandparents, they would never call themselves a witch, but they practice witchcraft. Like, I even said that about my aunts.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for that, because to them, it's not necessarily witchcraft. There's nothing pagan about it. It's just the way that it's been done. It's normal.
Yeah. And it's been normalized. Well, even a lot of Catholicism now has a lot of
pagan. It's
Catholicism. Very intertwined.
Yeah, pagan amalgamation from.
But we're stepping away from TikTok here.
Oh yes, we are. Damn it!
I don't know. I don't even know what got you on the subject.
I did it again. No, it was you. You did that.
No, I was just saying. I think a lot of there's not as much engagement in witch talk anymore.
That's because there are a select few people who have built their platforms on friction and hostility, and they love to stir the pot. And now either you've got the balls to basically make a scene and stand out, or you don't, and you just kind of go unseen and observe on Witchcraft. Everyone feels a little bit afraid on Witch Talk to ask questions. And if they do ask questions, then the other kind of person kind of calls them out and says, "You're a fucking idiot. What do you know?" And it's not right. And that's because it's dominated by the people who actually interact with Witch Talk. Are dominated by that. The people who just watch it, are entertained by it, and carry on. Most of you, right? Is different, but the people who squabble and bicker, although they're maybe 20% of Witch Talk, 10% of Witch Talk, they're the ones who realise that they can pull the attention in. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go out looking for a fight.
Yeah, unless there's something that really
unless there's something that I feel is very wrong and it's misinformation, you know.
Yeah.
I think people fall into this habit of viewing Witch Talk as this will inform me, this will inform me, this will inform me, and it all aligns you on this path of witchcraft. What you should look at it as is like walking down a little tiny alley, and each window is a view into each person and what they're doing.
Yeah.
A bit like a shop, but and so there's my window on TikTok. Go and have a look, and this is what I do, and I'm going to tell you this is what it's for, because this is my window in my little dimensional realm of where I practice. It doesn't mean it's the next window you see, all right? I'm not going to tell you that person's wrong unless they do something that is genuinely, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's up to you. It's not up to me to tell you. You have to make a decision. You have to take the initiative and say, no, this is how I'm doing it. This feels right. Regardless, even if I say to you, are you sure about that? If you say, yes, this feels right, I'll back off. I'll say, okay, then fine. Because that's your path of the cunning that you're using. You know, I have no say. It's not my place, regardless of whether you've just begun or not.
Cups up.
What?
Did you finish?
It's empty, yeah. Why would we do that for?
Because we finished. That means it's over.
Pops up. God, he's heavy.
Oh,
look at this
baby.
Boy. Sorry, did I wake you
up? Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.
This way. Please stop.
Hands up, freeze.